Hi, everybody, and welcome to Title II Tuesday, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning here at UWSP. Last spring, we announced the changes to Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which now specifies that government entities, including universities, must align their public digital presence with the World Wide Web Consortium's Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1 AA level. This represents a substantial amount of work for faculty, which we recognize. This is why CITL has been devising nefarious plans to help instructors across our institution to identify and remediate course content so that the digital materials in your course will be Title II compliant by the April 2026 deadline. In addition to providing drop-in hours to help you directly, we've broken down the tasks associated with remediation into weekly, bite-sized chunks. We'll be presenting these to you throughout the term using a modified version of our Teaching Tip Tuesday platform, which will temporarily go by the catchy moniker Title II Tuesday. These short instructional videos will show you how to progress through your course remediation work and keep you on track as you meet the legal requirements for digital accessibility. In our first installment, we're revisiting our earlier presentation on the changes to Title II of the ADA, and we're encouraging you to enroll in and review our training course in Canvas, which provides a lot of how-to information. Next week, we'll be helping you through the remediation work. The changes to Title II were instituted because as many aspects of public life have moved to online modalities, many people with disabilities have been locked out by web resources that are not accessible to them. This is a civil rights issue. To ensure civil rights, web materials must be usable by all, including those who use assistive technologies. This applies to programs, services, and activities that are offered by public entities like UWSP on websites or on mobile apps. While this impacts a diverse population, blind or vision impaired people, deaf or hard of hearing people, and people with movement disabilities that impact mouse-based navigation of digital resources are the folks that are most significantly impacted by inaccessible digital content. Although there are many ways to define accessibility, revisions to Title II are quite specific. All resources must comply with the AA level of the World Wide Web Consortium's Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. These are highly detailed guidelines, which I won't discuss here, but I encourage you to access the resources in the associated links attached to this video so that you can start wrapping your head around the kinds of changes that you'll need to make. Maybe right now you're thinking that you don't manage a university website, so this isn't your problem. It's up to IT to sort this out. But then you'd be wrong. As an instructor, you're likely to be using all sorts of materials that will have to be made accessible. This is going to include all your documents, so PDFs, Word docs, Google Docs, Excel sheets, etc. All of the videos that you use, your digital presentations, PowerPoints or Prezis, and all the materials that you put in Canvas, including pages, quizzes, discussions, and assignments. All of these must be made compliant. I've spoken to a number of faculty about this, and I know y'all are prone to wishful thinking that because students with disabilities get accommodations anyway, the Disability Resource Center will handle anything that needs to be done. But that isn't the case. Accessibility is proactive and ensures that students can access materials regardless of accommodations, which are reactive and must be provided when content isn't accessible. Title II of the ADA says that just as buildings must be built with accessibility features, so too must digital resources. Similar to an inaccessible building, there's not a simple accommodation solution. The recourse will be to remediate the content of your course. And naturally, there are timelines associated with these changes. Because we are associated with a state government entity, the Universities of Wisconsin, our compliance deadline is April 24th, 2026. This obviously is a tight timeline for a pretty big project. So what happens if we miss the deadline? I don't like this question, In addition to being the law, making our course content accessible is the right thing to do for our students. But I get it. A lot of people like to weigh the obligation against the cost of not fulfilling it. So here we go. If we fail to comply with the law, we violate the civil rights of our students with disabilities. That could result in any or all of the following scenarios. An internal grievance might be filed, which we have to track and report to our accreditors. A student might file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights. This oftentimes results in time-consuming investigations. A student might file a suit in federal court. A settlement or judgment against us would likely involve fines and/or damages awarded to the plaintiff, totaling somewhere in the 5 to 6 figure range. And if this happened, remediation timelines would then be imposed upon us and might involve costly external remediators, since we will have shown that we're not capable of self-remediation. This would also cause reputational damage to the institution, potentially leading to recruitment of fewer students with disabilities. So overall, nothing good will come of putting this off. Digital accessibility is the law, and CITL is here to help you stay on track. TRACK is our internal acronym for what has to happen for you to make your course compliant with Title II requirements. We need to start with training. In conjunction with the Universities of Wisconsin and our colleagues at UW Superior, we're offering a self-enrolled Canvas course called Digital Accessibility 101. This course provides important how-to information, and in all your dealings with CITL regarding accessibility, the starting point will always be asking whether or not you've reviewed this course. The accessible link is provided with this video, so please enroll now and begin your journey. R is for removing unused content, which we'll begin with next week as we give you an overview of the Tidy Up tool. A reminds us to adjust the digital materials we are keeping in our course, making them fully accessible. C is for the creation of new materials following accessibility guidelines. Finally, K reminds us that accessibility is an ongoing process and that we need to keep monitoring our accessibility efforts. Ensuring that all students can access digital course materials is the law. CITL can help you stay on track, but you need to start now. And that's this week's Title II tip, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning here at UWSP. Remember, at CITL, we offer support for course design, learning activities, assessment, pedagogy, and accessibility. Visit our website to schedule a consultation today.